The birth of Jesus is evidence of God saying, I will meet you where you are. In the crowded places, in the chaotic places, in the spaces that feel overlooked. And I will awaken the truth about who I am and who you are. Hello, my friend. Welcome back. And if you're joining for the first time, a special welcome to you. Hello, I'm Lucianne. I created this space so that we can have honest conversations about how our faith meets us in real life. It's this time in our week where we take a deep breath and we lean into the conversation and listen to hear what God is saying to us before we step back into the busyness of our everyday lives. And before we jump into today's conversation, I want to take a moment to wish you a warm, Merry Christmas from my heart to yours. It's Christmas Day. I could not have imagined back in August when I launched this podcast that I would have the opportunity to present a Christmas message on Christmas Day. I consider this a gift that I get to share this moment with you. We all know that this day is wrapped in celebration, but also layered with many different emotions, as are most of the holidays. And in the midst of it all, if we're intentional, we can actually hear the quiet, holy whisper of God inviting us to step aside, to transcend the busyness and take in all the beauty of this sacred day. It's easy for us to allow this day to become simply another busy holiday. But here and now, you and I, we get to choose to not let that happen. Lately, I've been thinking a lot about the sacred shift that happened the night that Jesus was born. Think about it. In a holy moment, heaven literally penetrated earth in a way that has never happened before. Now, I realize this is not a typical Christmas reflection thought, but what if we leaned in? I believe this truth has the power to awaken something inside each of us. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go grab our coffee or our tea and settle in for this Christmas conversation. I don't know if you have ever thought about the moment Jesus was born as being a spiritual awakening, but I've given that a lot of thought, especially lately. So with that thought in mind, let me take you into the heart of the Christmas story. Now, I'm not talking about the polished version that we grew up seeing, perhaps on stages in our churches or around town, or especially those on Christmas cards. But I want to talk about the raw, tender, unexpected miracle that changed everything. And it still changes everything today. Not just this time of year, but all year long. It carries the power to awaken truth within us. So for today, instead of stepping into the scene with our imaginations, I want to invite you into the truth inside the scene. The truth that God is still speaking over us today. Because that manger wasn't just happenstance in the course of history. That place was a message being delivered to the world. A message that would challenge the way we think and see our everyday life forevermore. It's a message about how God moves, about who he chooses, and it's actually a message about you and I. The manger tells us that God is willing to step into places that feel unprepared for him, places that feel small, and places that look nothing like ideal conditions that we would imagine. And the message in the manger tells us that holiness is not intimidated by humanity, that God will draw near to ordinary people in ordinary spaces, and he fills them with supernatural purpose. And the most important message that the manger tells us is this: when love enters the scene, identity awakens. It doesn't awaken because you or I perform well, or because we somehow earned God's attention, but simply because God chose to come close. The birth of Jesus is evidence of God saying, I will meet you where you are. In the crowded places, in the chaotic places, in the spaces that feel overlooked. And I will awaken the truth about who I am and who you are. So instead of picturing the manger, I want to offer you to receive the message of the manger. Because the truth is, love came low so you and I could rise. Light entered the world so you and I could remember who we were designed to be. Sit with that thought for a moment and let the awakening begin to rise. When Jesus entered the world, he didn't just arrive. He awakened something. He awakened hope where hope had all but disappeared. He had awakened purpose where people had felt forgotten. And he awakened the world to identity before anyone understood what identity even meant. He came as love, preparing the way for you and I to redefine our beliefs and the very essence of our own value. And this is where the Christmas story becomes personal. God didn't just send Jesus, his son, to save you. He sent his son to awaken you. First and foremost, to who he is. And through that revelation, to who you are. Not through a worldly lens, but through his very eyes. The birth of Jesus was God saying to us, you do not have to strive to find me. I'll come close to you. You don't have to perform to impress me. I've already chosen you. And you certainly don't have to earn my affection. You are loved because I designed it that way. I believe this is the invitation that you and I are being called back to this Christmas. But if we're honest, most of us aren't living from that awakening. We're living from the weight of expectations, exhaustion, from pressure, from worldly concerns that overwhelm our peace on a daily basis. And from the belief that somehow our value comes from how well we hold everything together, or the amount of accomplishments we have, or the titles we hold, and the things that we do over and over and over. And maybe as you're listening right now today, some part of you actually feels a bit disconnected from God, or maybe even from yourself. Perhaps uncertain how to quiet the noise long enough to even hear God's voice. If this year has felt like a major moment for you, cramped, crowded, chaotic, I'm here to let you know you are definitely not alone. It's been that kind of year for me too, and for so many others that I know. It's been a year full of unseen hardships, moments of waiting that seem endless. And how about those moments that actually leave us wondering if anything holy could possibly grow in the atmosphere that surrounds us? But here enters the truth of Christmas. God does his best work in places that feel unsettled, unprepared, unworthy, not ready for him. Our struggles don't disqualify us. The exhaustion that we feel because we overthink things and we overcommit to things doesn't disappoint God. And the uncertainty that often floods our minds certainly doesn't push God away. Hear this. He is Emmanuel, God with us. Especially this time of year, we are quick to sing about that, especially at our Christmas candlelight services, which happens to be one of my favorite times of the year. But we have to ask ourselves, do we really believe it? Do we really believe Emmanuel, God with us, right here, right now, in whatever may feel like your or my manger experience? So here's the shift. Christmas is not a reminder of something unreachable, of a version of ourselves that we're striving for. It's an invitation to allow the miracle of Christmas to awaken us, to rid ourselves of the lies that our identity is attached to achievements or the roles we play, or the hats we wear, or defined by our past. Our true identity was wrapped in the gift of love that showed up in a manger. Love that came near and made this announcement. This is who I am, and because of that, you can be awakened to who I created you to be. This is the awakening Christmas invites us into. It's the truth that the light will dispel any fears, that the Christmas miracle has the power to shift everything. And because transformation grows through movement, I want to offer you 3 simple reflection prompts today. Think about these. Where do you sense God inviting you to awaken? Could it be in your beliefs, in the things that you think you know about who he is and about who you are? Or does he want to awaken your ability to receive and not perform? What part of your identity needs to be awakened to the truth of your created greatness? And what would shift in your life if you lived as a woman who is already fully loved, fully chosen, and fully designed with purpose? Now let your heart answer those questions gently and with self-love. Allow truth to rise up slowly so it can overcome any doubt. And most importantly, let love lead you instead of your unconscious thoughts, the patterns that our minds trap us in sometimes. My friend, on this Christmas day, you can be awakened by love in such a way that it shifts the trajectory of your life. And if right now, if you felt some type of spark, a tug, even a holy curiosity, that's not accidental. That's what awakening in motion feels like. And I believe deeply that this is the direction that God is moving his daughters into this coming year. He's awakening us to rise. I sense this strongly in my spirit, and I'm listening to his promptings. I'm praying and leaning in, and I'm preparing for what I know will be a move of God that transforms lives for generations. I am believing for the hearts of women all over the world to be open to God's call to awake from our slumber. Now, hear me. It hasn't been all bad. However, it's about to get better. And if in your spirit you know it's time for something new to arise within you, stay close and stay tuned. And in closing today, I want to end this conversation with a Christmas blessing. As you move through this Christmas day and the days to come, may you feel the nearness of God who comes close. May his peace settle deep. May his love wrap softly around the tender places in you. And may his truth awaken what has been sleeping. I wish you a very Merry Christmas, my friend, and I'm so honored to be walking this journey with you. And may you always remember, you are chosen, you are loved, you are amazing by design.